So today I'm going to show you why Ableton Live is my absolutely favorite way to practice the guitar, okay? And I'm going to show you how I use it and how you can use it to make your practice way more fun and way more musical. Hey, I'm Daniel Seriff, and on this channel every week I'm sharing with you the things that I've learned over the last 15 years as a professional guitarist and teacher, and sharing them with you, the intermediate guitarist, so that you can learn everything you need to know in order to improve. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and ding the bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. So today we're going to jump into a little bit about Ableton Live and how to practice with it. Now, over the last few years, I feel like I've made a lot of really good progress as a guitarist, and one of the biggest reasons is that I started practicing the guitar with Ableton Live. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I started using my computer, my guitar, an interface, plugging it all in, running it into the computer, and playing along with real drummers and drums that I program inside of Ableton Live. I create tracks, that might deal with certain songs that I'm learning how to play, or they might deal with certain chord changes that I'm having trouble with, maybe in the jazz idiom, or anything like that, something that I'm struggling with. A certain subdivision, like if I can't play swing eighth notes or triplets or sixteenths. Anyway, Ableton Live allows me to make music simultaneously with practicing. And so I have a lot of exercises and things that I do in order to kind of practice in a more musical context. The more musical context I practice in, the better I find that I actually get, and more quickly. And the cool thing is, I make a lot of tracks for my guitar students as well, and you'll notice I'm starting to post a lot of these backing tracks on my YouTube channel here that you can play along with. Well, these backing tracks that I make for my students, they might be just drum grooves, or they might be drum and bass, or they might be drums, bass, and chords, and my students have specific assignments that I have them play along with it. And it's amazing to see the progress that they've been making by playing along to these tracks. So today we're going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to show you how you can use Ableton Live in a very simple way to make some backing tracks, and then I'll show you a little bit more advanced way. And guess what? You can download the backing tracks here right below in the description. Okay, so the first part of this lesson, I wanted to show you how you could very simply make a guitar track that you can play along with, okay? I got my MacBook Pro over here. However, you could use a PC, or you could use any kind of computer. You don't really need a super expensive computer to run Ableton Live. So, especially for doing basic things like some drum programming and some bass and some chord playing. So that's what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna show you kind of a basic way that you might make a track. Let's jump on over. Okay, so I have my PRS guitar plugged directly into an Apollo Twin. Now you could choose any interface you like. There are some great interfaces made by Focusrite and Presonus that are in the $100 to $200 range. Now the entry level for getting into Ableton Live is going to be $100, and then they have some higher level versions as well. Now if you're a student, make sure you pay attention, because you can get some amazing student discounts on programs like Ableton. Ableton does like half off of their programs, so that's something to check out. So because I wanted to show you how simple it could be to run an Ableton session, I just have my guitar plugged direct into my interface, okay? And I'm not using any amp simulators on here either, okay? Now you can get into all kinds of fancy stuff, but I wanted to show you the bare bones. So what we're gonna start with first are some drums, and I'm gonna show you how to program the drums on Ableton here. Okay, so you'll open up Ableton Live, and here the cool thing is we start with 2 MIDI tracks here and 2 audio tracks. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure drums are selected, and you should get these with any of the versions of Ableton that you get. And I'm just gonna double click Session Dry. I know that this is kind of a very drum set sounding drum set. It's real basic sounding. I'm just gonna click here, And this will give me some kind of drum options that I can choose from. And I'm gonna go ahead and build a very basic drum beat. Kick on 1, snare on 2, kick on 3, snare on 4. And then I'm gonna do some really straightforward hi-hats on the 8th notes. Okay? Now, I kind of need to decide what tempo we need to use. And I want to do something low-key, so this is pretty straightforward for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and enter in 90, and I'm going to click play. All right. We got a groove. That simple, I created a basic drum groove. Now, check it out. We got that, and now we need to figure out, okay, well, what do we need to practice? What are we going to play over? And I say, how about something really simple, like just a G to C chord? Okay, so I'll just choose G major and C major. Really nice, okay? Now, this is a little tricky, and I'm not going into all the details about how you do this, but I just got to make sure that my guitar is going in the right input, and it is. I arm it, and boom, I just hit this little button, and I can play. Now, the way I have it set up is that after 4 beats, we are recording. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna play that G to C. Now, let's say you're a less advanced guitar player and you don't necessarily know any fancy strum patterns yet. Well, the cool thing that you can do is you can literally just have it count you off, hit some big old long chords, and that'll sound great too. Let's try that. 3, 4. Done. Okay, cool. Now if I hit the space bar, it's gonna play that back. Okay, let's be clear. When I plug my guitar directly into the interface, it is not necessarily the best sound in the world. However, I got a quick little trick for that. I'm gonna just put a little bit of delay by turning this knob up and a little bit of reverb. Yeah, it already sounds better. Again, remember, I'm making this in the most simple way. The next track that I make will sound like a lot fancier and potentially a lot better, so to speak. All right, so we got our chords, G to C. Okay, cool. We're feeling pretty good about that, but say now we're kind of like missing the bass register. Well, check this out. I got a little trick. I go to the neck pickup on my guitar, I roll the tone down quite a bit, and I'm gonna do a little bit of palm muting, okay? Palm muting in my right hand, and I'm gonna play quarter notes. Now right now, it's gonna be like, oh, you're just playing a guitar that sounds kind of muted. Well, I'm gonna show you something real quick. So, let's jump in here. I'm playing my guitar through channel 1. Let me arm this track. And I'm gonna hit this button and we're gonna record. Here we go. Okay, so you notice on the C chord I played 4 and I played some extra notes. Now, again, if we listen to that back, it's like, it's pretty cool, honestly. I mean, it's not bad, right? I could jam along to that and that would be fun. But check this coolness out. In Ableton, I can take it and I can transpose it down 12 half steps. What are 12 half steps? Well, that's a full octave. So what that means is now we're in the bass register. Let's see how that sounds. Woo! Get that really nice low end. Sounds great. Okay, it might be a little bit too much. I'll turn that volume down. There we go. Boom, in just a couple of minutes, we've got a basic track that I can now practice, say, my G major pentatonic scale. I could practice my full G major scale over. G and C work really nicely. Let's see what that might sound like. Now check this out. If I made one more track, I can actually record my solo guitar. Now, why would that be useful? Well, you know, if you want to get better at music, you need to record yourself and listen back. So maybe I would record myself and I give myself a little critique on listen back. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so again, I might put a little reverb on that so it sounds a little better, and maybe even some delay, and let's see. Okay, so real quick, we're going to jump forward, and I'm going to show you how to make a really great sounding track with just a couple more additional pieces of gear. Let's jump in. Okay, so for this upgraded sound quality, I did 2 things that are not too crazy. Okay, so most of us as guitar players, we have a guitar amp, right? So what I did was I mic'd my guitar amp up with an SM57. Now the new price on an SM57 is around $90 to $100. You can probably get them used for way less than that. You know, if you didn't know, it's one of the standards of recording. It sounds great on guitar. And so I just mic'd up my Quilter Tone Block 202 with that microphone, and that sounds like this. And the other thing I did is, over the years, I've been purchasing downloadable loops, drum loops specifically, okay? And I usually use this company called Looploft, which is great. Go check them out. But there are tons of free ones online and other companies that are great as well. So what I did was I grabbed this drum groove called Staxed, and it's about 80 beats per minute. Let's hear how that sounds. Now the major upgrade there is that's a real drummer, and real drummers sound good. All the nuances are there, so that's going to upgrade our track immensely, okay? That plus the tone of my guitar is really going to help the track to kind of feel a lot better and feel more lively. So let's do this fancy track so to speak, and let's pick a different key. Let's do the key of E major. And I'm going to use 4 chords. I'm going to use E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, and A. Okay, and they're going to go nicely over this groove. Okay, so again, just like last time, I'm going to make sure I'm using the right input. I chose the same input for my microphone. The level's a little low, so I'm going to turn that up a touch. So I'm using fancier chords, and I'm also going to strum a little bit more. That's going to liven up our track a little bit as well, right? So, you know, from the last one, I was thinking real basic, just held out, you know, whole notes. I'm going to make this sound a little bit more fresh with the strum pattern. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Sounds pretty darn good. Again, I just like threw that SM57 up right in front of the amp. Okay, we're gonna fancy it up a little bit more. And the way I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna put another track in. This is a little secret trick I like to do. I'm gonna pan the first guitar part to the left. I'm gonna pan the second guitar part to the right. You can see me doing that on the screen. And input 1 is selected. And I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna play higher versions of the same chord. And I'm actually gonna change the pickups a little bit too. just so it sounds a little different. Here we go. Okay, I messed up, so here we go. Okay, so you notice, like, the amazing thing about Ableton, it always makes everything the right length. If not, you can go in and you can trim it just to make sure it's the right length, but as long as you hit the spacebar kind of in the right place, it'll be good. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay, I got an idea. Both of those need reverb for sure, and maybe even a little delay, but I'll put reverb on. I love verb. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make one more track, and I'm gonna just have a bass, kind of bass-ish thing, like I did earlier. Again, I'm gonna roll the tone down, and I'm just gonna get some eighth notes going on there. Let's see how that sounds. Cool, and again, I'm gonna go into that track and I'm just gonna drop it down 1 octave or 12 half steps. Let's see how that sounds. Sounds full, it sounds rich. We got a track. Maybe I'll play over it now. Alright, great. So thanks for checking out this video. I hope you dug Ableton Live and see all the potential that you could, use it for your practice. And this was just a short video. So if you're interested in hearing more about it and how I use it, please go ahead, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer any questions, or feel free to reach out to me anytime via email or social network, all that stuff. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, all those things. And if you're interested in more help on the guitar, head over to danielseriff.com. The link is right below. And there I have a 5-part video course for free on the diagonal pentatonic scale, this concept that I use to help get around the fretboard and break out of the boxes. So anyway, thanks again for checking out this video. Hope you have a great day, and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care.